There's the tattoo. Quote from Dostoevsky: "Beauty will save the world." But he feels pretty beautiful right now.
Must have been painful when he had that beauty put on him, though.
I'm glad it wasn't longer, the sentence. He doesn't look the kind of guy who'll get too excited by what he's achieved. From what we've seen him in the hour and 50 minutes, it looks like he's taking it in his stride. Gonzalez is back with us. A calmer man.
I think he's still racing inside, though, because he's really frustrated being down 2-1. He's not happy, as you can see at the moment.
Got a warning in his second round match against Alejandro Falla of Colombia for kicking the ball, went into the crowd, and he thought it was a bit harsh. Seemed a bit harsh, to be honest.
It did seem a bit harsh, but it was a pretty good kick, so if you're going to get warmed, you might as well kick it out of the court.
Yeah, those Chileans can play football. So he came from a set down to beat Ginepri. He was a set down against Falla and won that in 4, but right now he's 2-1 down.
Is there mirror? Is he just stalling? He's just taking every way to find a way to break the rhythm as Tipsarevic. You know, putting the tape on, taking out the new racket, going to the bathroom. He's just finding a way.
It does seem that he's one of the most likable guys on the tennis tour, but he's employing a little bit of gamesmanship here, fighting for his life as we begin set number 4. Suddenly the slice is a golden slice.
15 long.
It seems to be working, but it's a combination of Tipsarevic. He's been moving his feet so well, and he's missed a few, but I think he's going to handle that. He has to come over and do something different.
Beautiful.
Too long.
Certainly playing like a more composed man now.
That break has done him good. He seems to be getting a little bit more penetration on that slice as well. It doesn't seem to be floating as much. So that's probably why it's causing Tipsarevic a few more problems. Plus, he's had a little bit of letdown after being up 2-1.
Lovely shot. Yes, it's strange, isn't it? But success at a time like this can breed danger.
40-15.
It definitely does, and he needs to find a way to find that fighting spirit and that intensity he had in those first 3 sets. He needs to bring up his level again.
Gonzalez.
9th ace for Gonzalez.
First game, 4 sets.
So, super day now. Just a little bit warmer. Breeze very evident, but disrupting play here and there rather than constantly during the match. Plenty of colour there. There's a British point of view. Proved crucial. Tipsarevic wasn't distracted.
15 long.
The problem here, though, is the return from Gonzalez. That's what makes the point so easy for Tipsarevic. He doesn't put enough penetration on that slice. If you're going to put a return that's got too much height on it, Tipsarevic is going to punish you. He needs to penetrate that slice return. I don't think he has any kids at the moment, so he might want to be careful with that shot.
You couldn't do this, though, Greg.
I'm all right now.
Fine. Glad we've established that. What a day it's turned out to be.
This backhand is just floating too much on the return and on the ground stroke, but when he gets the penetration, then he has a chance in the point. He has to find a way to get a little more penetration on the ball. If he doesn't, there's only going to be one winner at the moment.
Do you think there'll come a point in the match, though, Greg, when Gonzalez will say, okay, it's not going well here, I'm going to trust in my instincts, I'm going to go for broke and see what happens, because this isn't good enough what's happening right now?
No, he has to do that, and that's the big question. Is he going to do that? If he doesn't, he's going to be second best.
Into double figures on aces.
This is a serve he needs to use more often, the one out wide. He's won a lot of points with that today.
Couple of aces in the game, and he cruises to 2-1.
Gonzalez leads by 2-1. 4 sets. Tipsarevic leads by 2 sets to 1.
Because there's nothing that's happened here that will have surprised Gonzalez. He knew from 2 weeks ago when he was so close to losing that match at Queen's, he knew exactly what Tipsarevic is going to bring to the party here.
That's what surprises me a little bit. You know, we've seen him slice so many balls into Tipsarevic's backhand. I'd like to see him get a little bit more variety, come over a few backhands, hit this slice, but hit this slice with penetration, not hitting the floating shot. And you know, with Tipsarevic, he's been the better player from the back of the court. He's been the more aggressive, he's dominated the points, and Gonzalez is playing behind the baseline while Tipsarevic is on the baseline dictating the points. And as a coach, you know, Larry Stefanki as his coach, he's quite a clever man. He's got to find that balance like he did in Australia, where he was aggressive at the right times, defensive at the right times, and he's doing all the wrong things at the moment. He's just being too negative, too defensive. The thing which is keeping him in the match, though, is his serve at the moment. He's served particularly well. Second serve has been average, and that's another area he needs to improve. But the first serve has been very good today.
Dot of 2 hours. I don't think fatigue is going to be a factor in this match, even if it does go 5.
I never think fatigue is a problem on a grass court, especially with the weather and the temperature. There's no excuse. At this stage in a tournament, you should never be fatigued, and never on grass in a 5-set match, in my opinion.
Even Tipsarevic, who has played 2 5-set matches to get here against Alexander Payer and Florence Serra. But he looks razor sharp.
He's strong as a bull. There's not going to be a problem today.
Just didn't have room on the backhand. The backhand was the key shot.
His backhand hasn't been good enough today, and that's been a weakness. And Tipsarevic has managed to take advantage there.
15.
It was a great point up here, but you can see he mishits that backhand ever so slightly. Tipsarevic deals with it very well, and he can't have a chance on that forehand. It's just too low the volley.
Ball to 15.
No. Good move in from Gonzalez.
14, 13.
It's very stubborn, but this is a good backhand. You can see the penetration, the way the ball skids away. He really got into that one well.
Score shot again had to be dealt with, and he did all right, did Tipsarevic.
2 games on.
Gonzalez running as if his life depended on it here.
He's got to find a way. You can see it's not from lack of effort today.
He got a lot darker.
As it's getting darker from Gonzalez out there as well.
Lucky boy.
Love 15.
Fulsome apology.
It's funny, when things are going well for you, you get the luck as well. And
Yeah.
Tipsarevic, he's been doing everything right today. It's been a very impressive performance.
Yes, it's only about 20 minutes ago since we showed you a cloudless sky, and suddenly dark clouds are moving across. Forecast I hope was for a shower, but quite a bit later on in the afternoon. I don't know if things are hurrying across. You wouldn't want, if you're Tipsarevic, you wouldn't want to go off now. You want to get this match done.
No, you want to stay playing right now. The momentum's all with Tipsarevic at the moment.
good work from Gonzalez, but it's defensive work.
It's way too negative. I mean, he's got to be positive.
13.
He hasn't found a way to get his forehand into play at all. It's all been Tipsarevic pounding the backhand side, dominating the point. Gonzalez doing all the running from the back of the court. Tipsarevic is the one who's dictating every point, and Gonzalez dictates with his forehand, but he's never had a chance to use it. The serve today has really kept Gonzalez in this match. His first serve has been very good. Had he not been serving such a high percentage of first serves, Tipsarevic would be running away with this match at the moment.
Oh no.
30-14.
So much effort, no result, and it's break point for Tipsarevic.
To me, this is virtually a match point for Tipsarevic, the way he's been serving and handling the points today. This is what the top players do well, though. They take their time. They make sure they get focused. Gonzalez is making sure that he's going to be very composed for this point.
So
I think we're seeing a few sprinkles of rain coming at the moment.
Yeah, there's a few people going for coats, and I think we're going to see umbrellas. Yeah, a few umbrellas going up as well.
Thank you.
Carrying on for the moment, but for how long?
Let the service.
If you're Tipsarevic, you've got to be hating what's happening at the moment.
The rain couldn't be coming at a worse time for Tipsarevic. For Gonzalez, it's a good thing. It's just distracted Tipsarevic a bit, and I think, you know, Gonzalez is going to want to finish this game and hope to get into the locker room with a little bit of rain.
Tipsarevic is looking up at Carlos Bernardes as if he wants to go off. But at the moment, no decision's been made. Very, very light rain. Tipsarevic just put his hand across his body as if to say, is that it?
Well, I think what he's thinking is he's worried about getting an injury, so he wants to make sure he doesn't catch an injury. He's playing well enough, and he'd rather make sure that he's going to be safe.
Well, play is going to be suspended. And they've got to be like sprinters on the out of the blocks.
They do, definitely. Tipsarevic has been very impressive. Whenever he's had pressure or had to start well, he's always answered the bell today and been very good in that domain.
2-3. Well, he was straight in there, Gonzalez, and he won the point.
Love 15.
Got a little bit lucky, though. Tipsarevic should have punished that forehand with the cross-court passing shot, but he's trying something new, moving forward.
Tipsarevic looked at Gonzalez as if to say, where did that come from?
It's a little bit of a mishit on the approach up, but Gonzalez plays the high passing shot. That's a tough one for the volleyer to handle.
Might have gone for it, Tipsarevic, but hindsight's an easy thing.
Even if he went for it, it would have been a difficult volley.
Cute little volley.
15-30.
This is where I want to see Gonzalez actually come over the ball once in a while. He's letting Tipsarevic dominate all the points here. And there's only going to be one winner if this happens. I would like to see Gonzalez actually attack that second serve and come over the ball with his backhand.
You can see the problem the wind's causing that. So he had to sort of lurch forward on the point the shot before.
That was a great adjustment right here from Tipsarevic. That ball was moving all over the place, and then to compose himself and hit this backhand up the line passing shot, his favorite shot again. There you can see Gonzalez's frustration. I don't blame him, but the tactics are wrong. He's got to revert to something different. He's been very stubborn with that slice, and he's only going to get more frustrated because that's not in his nature.
It's as if he's fighting with himself, fighting with his best nature.
And it's not happening.
There's a gift.
You know, his nickname is Gonzo, so you kind of think of a mad sort of character who's going to go a little bit crazy. But he's become this conservative player, and he needs to let loose a little bit and take a few more risks and be more positive and aggressive. He'll feel better about himself.
That was the first double of the match for Tipsarevic. And when he does let fly, that happens.
Tipsarevic.
Yes.
Oh, lovely touch.
Again, super adjustment from the serve.
3-0.
First drop shot of the day from Tipsarevic, and it's a very good one. Soft hands you can see there. Gonzalez had no play on the ball. Must be the red string.
Yeah. He had those when he played you up in Scotland.
He did, but I found a way.
But those purple ones you had.
Exactly, at my age. Can you believe that? That was definitely a chance missed from Gonzalez that game.
What you can see from his demeanor, from the tattoo, from the piercing, from the strings, he likes to be noticed. If he should win this match, he'll be noticed on a much bigger scale than he's ever been before. Good get from Tipsarevic and a super response.
What I liked about this point was the way Gonzalez used his forehand. He actually hit 2 forehands in a row for the first time in a long while and finishes it off with a lovely feel here. He's got to get into a position where he can use his forehand that way.
wind really gusting right now.
30-15.
Probably took it away from Tipsarevic then.
These are very difficult conditions for the players to handle. But Tipsarevic has been handling it better to date.
Ball to 15. Gonzalez, new ball, please.
Forehand working well there from Gonzalez. And the edge is in front once more.
Gonzalez leads by 4 games to 3, 4 sets. Tipsarevic leads by 2 sets to 1.
I wonder if the windy conditions are more of a factor with Gonzalez, who has such an expansive drawback to his shots, than it is for Tipsarevic.
Well, definitely, the more compact you are as a player, the easier it is to deal with the wind. But even so, you know, I think Gonzalez has to come over that backhand. We keep on making this point and putting his forehand into play. This game was much more positive for Gonzalez because he actually stepped in, hit quite a few forehands. And for him, if he's going to win this match, he has to let go on his forehand side and be more positive. And he's adjusting well. You're a good enough player, you have to be able to deal with these conditions.
Well, it's made him a cult hero back home in Chile, where they won the World Team Cup back in Dusseldorf a couple of years ago. He and Nico Masu, remember they won the Olympic doubles as well. Masu won the Olympic singles, and suddenly tennis was a huge sport back home.
It was, and then after that he follows it up this year by going to the Australian Open finals as well. So there was only another Chilean man who did that before, who was Marcelo Rios.
Yeah. What a player he was.
The only world #1 ever to not win a Grand Slam championship, that is Marcelo Rios.
Such a gifted guy. So another new racket for Gonzalez.
He's trying to find a way. Maybe this will be his lucky racket and he'll get it together now.
New balls.
15 long.
I'd like to see Gonzalez stand a little further back and maybe take a swing at the return of serve. Change his position around. He's always been in the same position, so it doesn't really affect the server that much.
Good volley from so far back.
But I like that point from Gonzalez.
15.
He got his forehand into play, hit a good forehand return, good inside-out forehand. He's doing all the right things and gets the volley behind Tipsarevic, who can't do anything with it.
Slices worked intermittently for Gonzalez, not often enough, but did there.
You can see, though, from Tipsarevic that he's starting to feel like he's getting to the end of this match, having a chance to actually win it. His body language and his feeling doesn't seem as positive as he did in the first 3 sets.
Super second shot.
30 on.
He's just playing the big point so well. That's just a lot of confidence the way he hits that forehand into the corner. There's a lot of margin in that shot, but it's well struck.
Ball to 30.
Three in succession. Big serve, big follow-up.
I just can't believe Gonzalez is still blocking back that return of serve. He's had no effect whatsoever. Just change your position, go backwards, give him a different look, give him the serve down the tee, do something different. He hasn't really changed it enough for my liking. Super shot.
Wasn't sure the serve was wide. He didn't hang around to answer. What a brilliant finish.
Low 15.
Great anticipation and even better execution. That's unstoppable.
Out. 15 on.
Good try. There's the forehand in all its glory from Gonzalez.
15.
He's starting to get that forehand into play, which is being key, which he didn't do the first 3 sets as much. And now the forehand's coming to play. And once he gets that in, he's going to get a lot confident. He's going to be playing a lot better tennis, which he's doing right now.
It's not too late. It's very late, but not too late.
15.
It might just be just in time.
Fault.
He's going to challenge it.
So Gonzalez is trying the call. The left near sideline. Call out.
It's right in front of us, but it's difficult to get a perspective from where we are, which is so low down, only about 5-6 meters away from where the ball landed. And it is out.
Ball stand, second serve.
Now that is high.
30.
It's a strange thing to do.
So Gonzalez has 2 challenges remaining.
Well, I think he just felt he wasn't in position to win the point, so he tried to get himself back in the play, but totally mis-executed that shot.
Tipsarevic just wants to delay while the ball is collected. Now Gonzalez wants his towel. Just a little bit of gamesmanship going on here. Nothing untoward about that, though. 12th ace.
Gonzalez leads by 5 games to 4. Okay. 4 sets. Tipsarevic leads by 2
So-
sets to 1.
Gonzalez more aggressive, working the forehand. Now, can he get the forehand into play on the Tipsarevic serve? Can he get the returns which are going to allow him to do that?
I'd like to see him take a risk right now. You know, he's played the percentages, blocked the returns back. I'd like to see him come over the backhand, cover the serve down the tee on the deuce side. I'd like to see him change his position on his return to serve. He is playing better, but we're going to find a lot out about Tipsarevic right now because, you know, these are the key moments of a match when you're serving down 4-5 in a set. You know, when you know you're only a few games maybe from winning this match.
The biggest match of his life.
And let's remember, this will be the first time in his career that he's won 3 matches in a row on the main tour in any Grand Slam. So this is a massive opportunity for him. He's never been into the second week of a Grand Slam before in his career.
Time.
And he's got to forget all that right now.
It's easier said than done. Every player says we don't think about those things, but we do actually.
I'm sure. Tipsarevic now then, serving to stay in set number 4. A bit more of a delay.
He's very good at this gamesmanship, isn't he?
You never did any of that, Brent.
No, never. I never used my towel, tied my shoelaces, did any of those things, did I?
You wore out hundreds of towels. Good enough.
Love 15.
I didn't mind the short ball to bring Tipsarevic in. I like that play. That's a good play because he's not that comfortable with that low short ball in the backhand shot.
Wind, it seems, did the trick there. Just slowing things up as it approaches that royal box end, the far end, as you look down the court here.
Sometimes you need a little bit of luck, and this is what's happening for Gonzalez at the moment. A little bit of a shooter and a bad bounce, and Tipsarevic can't handle it.
Suddenly, Gonzalez is 2 points from this 4th set.
Love 14.
Close, but here's the chance that Gonzalez has waited for. Suddenly things have turned around. 3 set points out of nowhere. Yes. He took his chance, and he's earned a 5th set, the number 5 seed.
6 games to 4.
But this has been key from this game, bringing Tipsarevic forward. He hadn't done that in the first 3 sets, and that's been a good tactic this game, and it's paid many dividends. He's won 2 points doing that and finishes it off with a good volley. And he's all pumped up about it.
Well, if you're Tipsarevic, you mentioned earlier on that it's very difficult to block out how important it is, and the chances that you've had, and your career. He's 23 years of age. He's a late developer. Everyone says he could be a top 20 player. He's ranked 64 in the world, very close to his top ranking. But he's never beaten a top 10 player. This is a massive achievement. Only 2 weeks ago, he was that close to beating Gonzalez. He had match point, couldn't quite finish it. Is it going to be another of those days?
Well, I've got to think the momentum has just switched in that game, and Gonzalez has the momentum. He's also serving first in the 5th set, which I think is of tremendous importance. When you're serving first, you're always in the lead if you can hold serve, and then the other opponent has the pressure feeling, I have to stay in this match. So we're going to learn a lot about Tipsarevic right now.
Time.
Losing all of his 2 minutes there. 2.5 hours have been going.
Final set. Gonzalez to serve.
Tipsarevic has to find a way to lift himself. I'd like to see him jumping up and down, showing a little bit more positive body language. He's just dipped ever so fractionally, and Gonzalez has the momentum with him now.
Don't get frightened seeing that brolly. That's to keep the sun off now.
15 lost.
Thirteen aces now for Gonzalez.
All.
It's been a really nervy match. It's one you don't feel like you can really pick a winner. 1 minute you think it's Tipsarevic, next minute you think it's Gonzalez.
Magical.
15-30.
I don't think you want to come in on this side. It's been tremendous. Good backhand pass shot up the line and takes the half volley cross court for the winner.
And of course, Tipsarevic is in his third 5-set match of the week.
So you're telling me he has good practice at the moment.
But we still don't think fatigue. Seriously, fatigue's not going to be a factor.
Not going to play a point or a factor at all.
Big chance now. He was straight up to have another go.
30-40.
He did all the right things here, Tipsarevic, but Gonzalez came up with a great backhand passing shot. He asked the question.
Still break point. Tipsarevic had the point. What a way to save break point.
We're seeing the best tennis of the match so far to date. That's a good recovery from Tipsarevic. Plays the right shot down the line. I agree with you, Simon. I thought he had the point one here, but Gonzalez comes up with a magical forehand cross court and falls down while hitting it. Look at this.
Never took his eye off the ball. Well played. He's missed a few up there.
Tipsarevic.
Keeps his eye on the ball. It's his favorite shot up the line. Gonzalez goes for the high passing shot, and as you can see, just keeps his eye on the ball. Well played.
Third chance for the break. He got lucky. The return right on the line. Gonzalez goes long. Tipsarevic is in front again.
First game, final set.
How often does that happen, Greg, when Gonzalez wins the set? Just a little relaxation.
A little relaxation, but impressive from Tipsarevic's point of view. You know, he really lifted his game that game and played very, very well. And what I liked after that game is he ran to the chair and said, I'm here. I've played 2 5-set matches, but I can go another 5 sets if I have to. He's just so strong physically and mentally. He's proven that he belongs at the very best.
Remember bidding to reach the round of 16 at a Grand Slam for the first time. Look at that towel. Get caught by the wind. That shows you as much as any of the hitting of the tennis balls how strong the wind is.
Gonzalez has to answer right back and find a way to break back straight again.
I guess Tipsarevic right now has just got to pray he's going to carry on serving as well as he has in the 2.5 hours we've been on court. And hit a few backhands. That was like a shot out of a rifle.
15 long.
I can't say anybody hits their backhand better than the way Tipsarevic hits this one up the line. He just strikes it so well and so cleanly.
Backhand, forehand, the whole 9 yards now.
But the problem is the returner's serve here. Look how this ball sits up waiting to be hit. Tipsarevic is such a good player. You've got to do more with the return. And Gonzalez has to make a change.
Yeah. Time to have another go at the shoelaces.
But for me, that was a little bit more positive from Gonzalez. He went after that backhand. He's trying to get aggressive now, at least.
Whoa, what touch! And he showed almost too much confidence there, Tipsarevic.
He got away with one a little bit here. Gonzalez should have punished that short ball, and then he goes for the Yannick Noah, as I like to call it, because that was the first man who ever did the through-the-leg shots that we've seen on tour before.
No other option. It's a good sign for Tipsarevic that he's feeling that positive about things. Not good enough. Again, Tipsarevic making the move.
Low 15.
He's just moved so well. His movement has been impressive. Gonzalez tries to do the same thing back, and Tipsarevic puts away the smash.
Left. Pursuit. Ball, please.
What happened there was the spectator was trying to throw the ball back, threw it onto the back of someone's head.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lucky it was a tennis ball. For at Lord's, it might have been a disaster.
How did he hit that shot?
15 off.
Look at this shot. It's almost like he flicks his wrist from behind him when he hits this shot, Tipsarevic. Look at that. Don't try that at home.
That is horrible. That could break your wrist.
15, 13.
He's getting lucky. It's all going for Tipsarevic at the moment.
I like that. The apology, then the fist pump.
Yeah, that shows how real the apology was.
Hingis used to never apologize.
Off.
127 out wide. Really snapped it there. No chance. This is something else.
It's a good approach, but what a backhand passing shot. That just sets up the easy one here. He knows these are key moments of the match. If he breaks here, this is virtually match point. 2 breaks in the 5th set's almost impossible to come back from.
This would be insurance. And that's his quickest serve by some way. Natural instincts may be taking over for Gonzalez now. Cornered. 133 miles an hour.
Gonzalez.
This is maybe where coaching goes out of the window and your natural game comes flooding in.
He has no choice, and this is good to see.
Whoa.
Drop shot wasn't good enough, and the quicksilver Tipsarevic takes care of business.
I mean, it's amazing to look at the power on this forehand. Gonzalez is starting to hit out, but this is the wrong shot, and poorly executed, and Tipsarevic just punishes him there with the backhand up the line. Great movement in defense.
Gonzalez.
He's number 14. Whereas he served well in this game, as he needed to.
Left. First service.
Good catch. Very good hold from Gonzalez, but he still trails by a break.
Tipsarevic leads by 2-1, final set.
Are we off?
Time.
So Tipsarevic then 2-1.
Left. First service. Love 15.
At that point, won by a beautiful little drop shot from Fernando Gonzalez. So it's love 15. Tipsarevic, remember, with a break. 2-1 up in this deciding set.
Oh. 15 all.
It just seems at the moment that Gonzalez is willing to take a few more risks and come after the returns and go for them a little bit more, and I'm liking that. He's changing his attitude, as we saw in the last game, and going to his natural sort of tennis now.
Ah! 15, 13.
He's going to challenge it.
The call, the left, far side line.
Again, far side of the court from us, we got no clue. The Serb had a better view. Is he right? Very close, just out.
All of that. Second time.
Apology, because it was a miss hit.
15, 14.
And how important might that miss hit be?
Tipsarevic has 2 challenges remaining.
This is a phenomenal shot from Gonzalez. I mean, a slight miss hit, but you have no chance on that as a volleyer. This could be a key point in the match.
Apologise, but he'll take it. 2 break points. He looks up at Larry Stefanki as if it endorsed the strategy. He's broken back.
2 games all. Final set.
Bit of everything from Gonzalez there. Chipping, yes, but some exciting play as well.
It's amazing to see the way he's managed to turn this set around. He was 1 point away from being a double break, and now he's back on serve in the 5th.
Who's your money on? Tough one.
Tough one. I'd have to say Gonzalez, just because of the experience, and Tipsarevic is going to be starting to think about it a little bit too much now.
Loves his football, Gonzalez, and that was a penalty taker shot, crushing it down the middle. There's the havoc that forehand can wreak, but not as much, really, if you think this is a 5-set match, as it might have. Doesn't want to overdo it.
I would just like to see him come over this backhand. He sliced it too much. Yes, it's got him back to the situation he's been in, but he'd be much more dominant if he took a forehand or came over that ball. It's laying Tipsarevic into a lot of points he shouldn't be allowed to be in. So Simon, who are you going for now that you put me on the spot?
I'm with you, actually, Greg. I think Tipsarevic has been here a couple of weeks ago and couldn't quite finish it off. It is so huge for him. I think that might be a factor. But his has been such a brave performance, the serve, that in a way, although I'm a fan of Gonzalez's, I'd quite like to see him win.
I'd have to agree with you on that.
Mighty serving from Fernando Gonzalez, and it's 3 games on the spin now.
Gonzalez leads by 3 games to 2. Final serve.
Suddenly there are smiles up in the Chilean contingent in the box there.
One thing that has impressed me is though Gonzalez has gone after his first serve a lot more the last 2 service games. He's been much more positive, much more aggressive. His speed has gone up. He's hit his fastest serve at 133 miles an hour in this set, and he's hitting more aces, and he's finding a way to get that forehand into play. So all credit to Gonzalez. The only thing I would slightly change is that backhand. It's just frustrating me because he might get away with it in this match against Tipsarevic, but if he's going to play James Blake per se in the next round,
yeah,
he's not going to get away with that sort of tennis.
But he's given himself a chance to win now when all looked pretty much gone, as you say. He was nearly a double breakdown. Larry Stefanki very happy.
Time.
Free spirit is Fernando Gonzalez, and leaves people smiling wherever he goes. So much goodwill for him, particularly amongst the females, I have to say. Not that I'm making a big point about that, but he does seem to have a very large female following.
It's not a bad thing to have, is it?
His girlfriend has been up in the box, Gisela Dulco, the Argentine player. She's left. I guess she's got a practice or a match on.
Lot of things.
You can really see what Larry Stefanki told him before that 4th set finished. You know, chip and charge a few more times, bring Tipsarevic forward, you know, create angles. He's doing different things out there, so it is starting to all work for him now.
Love Thursday.
Crucial time now. This is where he needs his serve to fire. 4 times if possible. Yeah, everything happened there. It wasn't up, crushed into the net, and the wind did him a favour. Tipsarevic just held it back.
Well, that's a clever play. If you're going to play a drop shot, it's a good idea to play a drop shot when you're against the wind, because the ball just stops.
Huge. Confident shot.
That reminds me of a boxer, the 1-2 punch, the big first serve and then the big forehand to the open court. That's unstoppable.
Driving himself forward, Gonzalez.
It's a great point. Good chip approach shot. Read the volley. Just hit a great shot. That's something new. We haven't seen that in the first 3 sets, did we?
Nope. It's break point for a second successive break. Big gust of wind. What a time. He's made it.
And Gonzalez, new ball, please.
There is Gisela Dulco, Fernando's girlfriend.
Gonzalez leads by
What a
4
time for her to
games 2.
return. As big a shot, as important a shot as he's played in the match. Planted that foot. And there's the reaction. He's nearly home now.
Tactics have been good this set. He's brought Tipsarevic forward, managed to get the passing shot, and he's chipped in charge. So he's kind of mixed it up a little bit more, which has been a good play for Gonzalez.
New balls. Had to be watched carefully in the wind.
15 long.
I like the way he's using his forehand and coming forward to knock off the easy forehand volley. He's being much more positive. He's being the boss on the court now.
Third long.
Seventeen aces now. Brave
30, 15.
from Tipsarevic to chip and come in there. Paid off.
Well, he came on the right side. The backhand side is definitely weaker, but Gonzalez has improved on that shot this set.
Went for that second serve, 108 miles an hour. Good contact. Pity about the serve. Tipsarevic can't believe he missed it.
40, 30.
He was knifing it in too, time after time.
He's getting much more bite on that slice, though, Gonzalez, and that's the key.
Again, it was Tipsarevic taking the initiative. A bit more of the floated slice there from the Chilean.
You can see Gonzalez is too far behind the baseline here, and Tipsarevic has gained control of the point coming forehand, and this is going to be a difficult passing shot from that far behind the baseline.
Let. First service.
miles an hour. He's having a good look at the line, but I think he's going to let it go.
Mr. Tipsarevic is challenging the
No,
call.
he is going to challenge it.
Left near sideline.
I think he knows it's good, though.
Yeah, the body language wasn't strong, was it? Is this? So it's such an important point. I might as well give it a go. It was only just in.
Ball stands. And advantage Gonzalez. Mr. Tipsarevic has one challenge.
He's got one challenge remaining, but he had to challenge that.
Let. First service.
Tipsarevic is not going to lie down for him. He knows that. He's a true serve. They're tough.
Why is it always the 7th game that seems to be the most important in each set?
Why? Never fathomed that, have you?
I don't know. Maybe the number 7. Who knows?
Let. First service.
Tipsarevic breaks here. He's back in the match, and if Gonzalez holds, he's most likely going to finish it off.
127 miles an hour.
Advantage Gonzalez.
But he wants to change his racket.
Well, he probably felt like the string was fraying or it just wasn't working. And, you know, with as many rackets as the players have in each bag, it's not a bad idea.
He must be close to running out of rackets.
No, I don't think so. He probably has about anywhere between 10 and 15 rackets in there, so he'll be okay.
I think he's into double figures that he's used. There's a big bag there.
They can carry about 20.
Okay. Hitting there. Huge serve, massive forehand. It is 5-2.
Gonzalez leads by 5 games to 2. Final set.
Just to look up to Larry Stefanki for confirmation. I think there'll be plenty of that. He's got it right.
Just in time, it just seems like, you know, when he was down 2-love in this 5th set, it looked like Tipsarevic was going to come away with the match, but then all of a sudden he found a way to save that break point to be down 2 breaks of serves, and from then on in he's actually played a lot better. He's chipped and charged, he's played the short ball to bring Tipsarevic in, he's got his forehand more into play, and he served well as well. So it's actually been a good performance in these last 5 games, and he seems the player we all want to see.
That rain delay, that was crucial.
That was probably the key to the match. Sometimes at Wimbledon, the rain decides matches for us. It can either hinder or it can help you. So sometimes the gods are with you or they're not.
Time.
He mustn't be feeling unlucky right now, Tipsarevic. It's only a break. Crowd rising to both players. It's been a super match.
Thank you.
Oh, lovely play from Gonzalez. There's the devil in him.
Love 15.
This is great to see, though. He comes over the return, which I really enjoyed, and he plays the soft drop shot, and he's just toying with Tipsarevic here. And he's got him on a string.
Really letting rip against the wind, cracking that forehand.
Love 13.
If you look at the position on the baseline here, Gonzalez is stepping into the court while Tursunov's doing all the backpedaling here. So he's gained control of the court now.
Tipsarevic. Both the big hitters.
This man's not giving up the fight. He's going to fight to the last ball. It's good to see.
Let. Proceed.
Clever serve. He has served well. Long periods of the match where Gonzalez just didn't have anything. Good to see. Ninth ace for the serve. He's made it. Wouldn't you know it? Great reaction.
Dude.
This is why we love to watch Fernando Gonzalez. He comes up with the unexpected all the time.
Yeah. Hit like a rocket at him. What instincts.
Let. First service.
He won't go away.
Strategy Tipsarevic.
And whatever happens in the next game, Janko Tipsarevic has shown that he belongs at this level, and it is strange that he's not beaten a top 10 player.
5 games, 3 final.
It won't be long. Can he conjure up just a little bit more magic and prolong this and give himself another chance?
Gonzalez is being very clever. He's taking his time right now. He knows he needs to win the first point. If he wins the first point, he's in good shape here.
He chose the tactic, but Tipsarevic read it well.
Allow 15.
Tipsarevic was there almost before he hit that ankle. He read that shot extremely well, as you said, Simon, and just an easy ball down the line. It's becoming a little bit predictable now.
Starting.
Just really being aggressive with that forehand side, Tipsarevic.
Gonzalez is challenging the call.
He's going to challenge it.
Right service line. The ball's called out.
We're so low down, it's difficult to get a view.
I'm going to say he's going to get it wrong. I think it's going to be out. You know, the players haven't got it right once today.
So it continues.
Ball stop. Second serve.
Gonzalez is acting as if he knew that was happening.
What a great second serve. One of his fastest of the days at 108 miles an hour.
Gonzalez has 2 challenges.
He was in position to serve almost as the result of the challenge was being displayed on the screen.
A little quick serve, it helps once in a while.
Still very much in this match.
I
Thought it was tug of war at one stage then. Scream from Tipsarevic. He's got 2 break points. Another challenge.
Gonzalez is trying to call.
Second in the game.
Center line. The call was out.
0 for 7, do you think?
I do. Yep, and it was. Look how quickly he is into his service action again. Wow. He can't believe it, Tipsarevic.
30-40.
Hands on hips.
Gonzalez has 1 challenge remaining.
Just look at his reaction here.
You're not going to get a better chance to get back into the match with that easy forehand. You can't believe he missed it.
Still got another chance. It may not be as good a chance.
Go on, challenge.
Thank you. Thank you.
3 in a game would be too much. The rally of the match, perhaps the rally of the tournament. Amazing retrieving from Gonzalez.
Gonzalez leads by 5 games to 4. Final set.
And he needed to concentrate there, and he's got the break back. And away goes the racket. Some rally, Greg.
It's been impressive. I mean, to play the best point of the match when you have break point to come back into the match. He's done a great job here, Tipsarevic. You know, 1 minute it looked like Gonzalez was going to win the match. Then it looked like Tipsarevic. Then it's just been back and forth, and it's just been enthralling.
Crowd just loving this now. 3¼ hours have been going. This is building up to be just about the match of the tournament. We've seen some great battles between Tim and the Spaniards, but how about this one?
Well, Simon, not to put you on the spot again or anything, but who's going to win this one?
I'll still go with Fernando.
I don't know. I'm kind of feeling the vibe for Tipsarevic now. I'm thinking, okay, he hasn't beat a top 10 player yet. He hasn't been to the 4th round of a Grand Slam. He's done all the hard work. It's almost like he deserves it. So I'm hoping that he finds a way to hold here and win this match. He's got to find a way to break as well.
Listen to this.
Thank you.
Serving for the second time to stay in this. He moves into double figures on aces.
15 long.
And he's upped his level again.
30 long.
He looks like the man at the moment from the first set when he was extremely impressive, making only 2 unforced errors. It's just raised the level. Look at that forehand. It's just massive.
Last person.
Not good.
40 long.
You can really start to see the momentum changing here in the match at the moment.
Game. Tipsarevic.
2 aces in the game. 5-all.
5 games on. Final set.
There have been so many switches of momentum that we'll get a fix on it. Gonzalez has looked out of this match so many times. But there's only going to be one more switch, that's for sure.
$15 long.
So 20 aces already. He gauged the win really well with that forehand, Gonzalez.
30 long.
Good forehand, good passing shot. And Tipsarevic is looking very sprightly for having played 2 5-set matches. He's moving really well.
Wait, please. Ball to long.
How could he miss that? That's what's going through his mind. Just a bread and butter chip. He's had to face them hundreds of times in this match.
Correction. Game Gonzalez.
Yeah. Court call, then corrected. No challenge. It's 6-5.
Gonzalez leads by 6 games to 5. Final set.
The thing which Gonzalez has in his favor at the moment is serving first in that 5th set. So if he has any break points, it will be match points. And that's going to be a tough thing for Tipsarevic to deal with. But, you know, it comes down to who wants it more when you're at 6-5 in the 5th set.
And remember, no breaker here, not in this deciding set. We go the full distance. but he's shown terrific character, Tipsarevic. Showed he belongs right up there in this super tournament for serves.
Time.
Been a privilege for them. Yep, let's take that extra couple of steps up because of the wind.
15 long.
The expression on his face as he hit this. That wasn't coming back.
Left. First service.
Floated slices, you pointed out, he can deal with those.
No, he's got to do more, Gonzalez. He's got to go back to that tactics, which got him into that 5-2 lead. He's got to penetrate the slice, look to come forward on it, or hit the short slice to bring Tipsarevic forward. He's gone back to the tactics that were so negative in those other few sets.
The cheek of him.
$30-15.
I think he must have listened to me because he did play that short drop shot to bring him forward, and it's paying dividends.
Yes.
A little bit lucky, though, on that return.
Super athlete. Most of them came here to watch Serena and then Federer against Safin. It's going to be the main course, but this is some hors d'oeuvre, this one. They're going to be full by the time Serena comes on.
Left. First service.
Forehand from Gonzalez.
30-14.
And it is match point.
That's a humongous forehand. There's nothing Tipsarevic can do about that.
Too careful. And that happens.
I would have loved to see Fernando Gonzalez chip and charge on that serve and come forward. Put the pressure on Tipsarevic rather than waiting for the mistake.
Again, Gonzalez making him wait.
Tipsarevic.
135 miles an hour. Equals his fastest serve so far. And you can imagine the adrenaline was pumping around his body then. Well played, Janko Tipsarevic. Gonzalez got a bit cautious, but Tipsarevic stood tall.
Final set.
A he-man there.
The number of challenges for both players is reset to 3.
Yeah, so each player now has 3 challenges. It's reset completely. They wipe the slate clean, which is just as well for these two because they've not done too well on challenges. But they've each got 3 each. Now 6 games all. It's been so good, you almost expected him to make something spectacular with a hot dog.
I just don't understand this point from Gonzalez. He gets lucky here, Tipsarevic, with the passing shot there. Reflex volleys are good here. But when he goes back, why doesn't he try to play the lob back or something different to get the ball in play instead of going for the hot dog?
Oh, yes. He's right up there again, Tipsarevic.
Love touching.
Look at the way he's pushing him back on the baseline. He's dominating the point inside the baseline using that big forehand. He's the one who's taking all the initiative in the match at the moment.
Gonzalez taking his time, looking a little tired. A bit more time now.
He's the one who's done all the running today.
Yep. Well played. He's gulping in air, Gonzalez.
15-13.
Absolutely wondrous point, but he is fatigued right now. Taking every second and then a few more. Might be almost a time for Carlos Bernardes to step in. No challenge. That was wide. And here are 2 break points for the Serb.
Thank you, please.
Huge relief for the Chilean.
You can feel the tension. He hasn't missed that backhand all day. just the pressure of the situation.
Huge forehand to set it up. Still Gonzalez made him play one more shot.
I love the reaction after this point. He's pumped up. He's done everything this match to find a way, and now he's got what he wants, the chance to serve out the match. Well done, Janko Tipsarevic.
His whole career could change with this one game. Remember, he's never beaten a top 10 opponent. He had match point a couple of weeks ago against Gonzalez at Queen's. Couldn't take it then. Here he is poised for his first round of 16 in any Grand Slam. Now, if you're Gonzalez, do you go for it?
You've got to go for it.
Time.
You can only look on and hope.
Thank you.
Tipsarevic serving for it all. Brave move, and it's rewarded. And he's the one, Tipsarevic, who's been the braver of the two.
He's just taking all the chances, pushing forward. Gonzalez is always on his back foot.
Can he conjure up some magic to save himself here? Miles an hour.
2 points away from the biggest win in his career.
All going to plan. 3 match points. He knows, even with 3 challenges, he's not going to waste one on there. Must be a temptation just to see if Hawkeye got it wrong. Just try it. Match point number 2. It's there. Or is it? Gonzalez looking, he's not going to challenge. Tipsarevic has won a hero's match. 6-3, 4-6, 8-6. They're rising all around the centre court. Can you imagine? It seemed the gods were against him with the rain delay when he had the match not in his pocket but going his way. Gonzalez finding his form, finding the tactic, but in the end he fought back so bravely to win.
Janko Tipsarevic has finally arrived, finally beating a top 10 player in the world and getting to the 4th round of a Grand Slam for the first time. Well done. He deserves these applause.